In this video lesson, we're going to take a look at the Transpose MIDI Notes feature in Pro Tools. So let's start by listening to what we have for a source material, which is a C major scale. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to try a couple of the transpose options available in Pro Tools on this C major scale and see what happens. So let's go to our event menu where all our MIDI editing operations are. So event operations, and let's go down to transpose. All right, not too much here, and it's pretty easy to use. So transpose by octaves or semitones. Transposing by octaves would be pretty obvious. Right now, if we wanted to play this C major scale up an octave, we would just take it up, and we can just type in the one or move the slider back and forth to go up or down, apply, and there we go. And now we can see that we've transposed all those notes up an octave. Let's undo that, okay? And let's get those notes back into view there. All right, there we go. Now, let's go ahead and transpose by semitones, because many times you'll be working on a track that has a vocal on it, and when it comes time to cut the vocal after you've laid down the track, you may find that the vocalist can't sing in the range of the track, and you may need to lower the track, or lower the key of the track, most likely, or maybe raise the key of the track so that you're in the best, or really making use of the upper range of that vocalist's great voice, okay? Now, when we're talking about semitones, this is where it can get tricky. So let me bring in my keyboard icon, and it's when thinking about transposing semitones, and we'll use our C major scale for an example. Let's always think of our scale degree, our scale starting point, in this case C, as 0, and then count up the number of semitones we want to transpose from there. So for example, if I wanted to transpose my scale up to the key of D, all I would do is type in 2 semitones. To the key of E, 4 semitones. To the key of F, 5, 7 for G, A flat, 8, etc. So always think of C as 0 as your starting point and then count from there. So let's transpose up to the key of D. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and take a look at another window in Pro Tools. And this is kind of handy for thinking about transposing and looking at the actual notes. I'm going to get out the score editor here. And there is our C major scale right there. Again, window, score editor. So let's see what we've got. Okay, and let me bring my event operations right over there and scoot that guy there. Good. And let's go ahead and take that up 2 semitones, which will be C is 0, C sharp is 1, D is 2. So 2 semitones, and now that transposes it to the key of D. And if you remember your basic musicianship class, key of D has 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp. Okay, let's undo that. Let's say you really are not great at counting semitones for some reason. One of the easiest way to do it is if you even don't know what key you're in and you want to experiment with moving it up or down a couple of steps or a step or something like that, just even though we are in the key of C here, let's say that I want to move this scale up 1 semitone, a half step. So I can look at my keyboard that I have in front of me, and I know that I've got a semitone between E and F because there are 2 white keys together. So I'll start from E to F, apply, and now it takes everything up, even though the accidentals aren't correct, Pro Tools didn't do it correctly, I've got the key of C sharp major. Let me undo it again, and we'll just go up to the D. So let's say that I don't know what key I'm in. I'm going to go from D to E. So that's up 2 semitones or up a whole step. And there we go. There's that key of D major again. So even though I was in C and I said go from D to E because I know I wanted to go up a whole step, all I have to do is type in my starting point, just any starting point I want, and then type where I want to go, put that in, and it'll do it for me. Okay? And of course, if you want to go up or down, you can do that as well there, okay? Just by going, we wanted to go down to B2. So you have to look at your octave. Here's the D in the third octave. That's B2 in the second octave. And you can see it'll take it down like that. So just things you'll have to experiment with as you work through the musical problems in your project that you're working on. Okay? Let's go back and put that to C. And get our event window back up. Transpose. There we go. Transpose all notes too. I have not found a use for this one yet, but let's do it. We'll just transpose all notes to C. And this is, oops. There we go. And I just typed that in on my MIDI keyboard here, C3. And that's what it does. It just puts everything to the exact same note. Maybe when you're working on percussion or drum notes or something like that, it might come in handy. But anyway, let's undo that. And let's go to the last one. Now, this one's a little bit tricky. So transpose in key. Let me go back to transpose by semitones. So I'm going to go up 0, 1, 2 semitones to transpose everything from C to D. Okay? So 2 semitones. Apply. And you can see there I have C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, and D. Now, the F sharp and the C sharp are obviously not notes in the key of C because the key of C is only the white keys on our keyboard. Okay? Now, you'll notice here on my keyboard, I've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way through 11, which starting at 0 and counting to 11 includes all the white and all the black keys. Down here in blue, I'm still starting at 0, but I'm just numbering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so that would be how many scale degrees. Up here, it's just number of semitones. Up here, it's actual scale degrees because we're working in the key of C, which is just the white keys on the piano. No sharps, no flats. Okay? So what I want to do is I want to, instead of going up 2 semitones and transposing to the key of D with a new key, with F sharp and C sharp, I want to keep everything just still on the white keys of the piano, keep all my notes in the key of D. So let's go ahead and I'm going to Command Z, undo that. And now I'll transpose in the key by 1 scale step. So instead of going 2 semitones, I'm just going 1 scale step, and it'll keep everything in the key of C with no sharps and no flats. Let's go ahead and try it. 1 scale step. There we go. And there we go. Now I've got all the notes from D to D, but still in the key of C. And now it's not playing back for me because my audio went dead on my screen recording program. But anyway, couldn't have been a better time because I think you get the idea. And that's really it for transpose. Okay? See you in the next video lesson.